Hello, everyone. Welcome to Take Two Tuesday. Hi, I'm Ken here at the Stamps of Life in Southern California. I want to welcome all of you to our weekly Tuesday show. This is episode number 15 in case you've been counting. So yeah, we're getting up there. 15 already. I can't believe it. Let's see who's here. I think everything is working good so far. As I had lost my mic number one last week, I still have not been able to fix that, but I think the sound is coming through pretty good. I'm using a secondary mic. I switched all the wires out and tried to reconnect everything and turn things off and on and reset, but no luck. So something is wrong with mic one, but I think mic two works pretty good. And so, yeah, it's great to be here. I hope all of you are having a wonderful day. I see Diana and Antoinette and Gloria and Bonnie, Ellen, Joe, all over there on YouTube. I think Facebook is working this week. Hey, I see Jeff and Ruth. Welcome, you guys. Last week, for some reason, Facebook just kept dropping the feed just all by itself. Hi, Serenity. It just quit. And looks like it's working this week, so that's good. It just kept kicking me off and I had to give up, and I did add it to Facebook later, but I just had to add the taped version. So welcome. If you are new, this is Take Two Tuesday. Once a week we get together here at the Stamps of Life and we go through take a look at some stamps, some dies, some Stamps of Life products from the past that perhaps you already have or perhaps are brand new to you. It depends how long you've been around. If you've been a long time Stamps of Life club member or customer, many of these items you might have. So by looking at Take Two Tuesday, we're going to take a second look at these items, maybe give you a little refresher, a reminder that you want to break them out and that you want to get some good use out of them. If they are new to you, I think all of these items are available on our website, so that is good news. Yeah, everything is around 4 years old. There is one item I'll be using today that's pretty new, and yeah, we'll start. We have a lot to cover, so we want to get started and get rolling. We'll do a little good news segment at the end. I don't have a fun video like last week. I had that guy and that bear hugging. I thought that was pretty cool. But this week I don't have a video, but we will be, if you have a Bible on your phone or a tablet, or you can even pull one up if you're on a computer on an extra window, we'll be looking at Mark chapter 10. And this will probably be a 3-part series. Last week, it's where Jesus welcomes the kids and he wants them to come to them. Last week we talked about touch and probably Jesus hugging those kids and blessing them, and it means a lot. And then this week we'll take another look at that same little segment. It starts, I think, in verse 13 or so, somewhere around there. The verse we'll be looking at is actually verse 15. And next week we'll do one more little, these are just little fun sections just to talk about God and his love, and kind of like a devotional, but not official, but that's what we'll work on. That will be at the end. Okay, so we have a lot to get going here. Let me again double check on our feeds, make sure everything is good and everybody's here. It looks like everything is working okay on my end. How is your day going, everyone? I hope you're having a great day, a great Tuesday. Stamps of Life, this Thursday we will have a release. That's the 25th. The items will be up on the website tomorrow. There will be some items from the past that perhaps were HSN items or things that we haven't added to our website yet. So that will come out tomorrow night, and then officially the 25th is Thursday. And we will have, we'll have a crafting corner on Thursday, so make sure you're ready for that. The brand new Fold It Club is going to start shipping towards the end of this week. It officially comes out on the 24th, which is tomorrow. And so that's exciting. If you are a Fold It Club member, you'll have a new die set and some stencils. Probably get mailed on Thursday, Friday, at the latest Saturday. But I will do my best to get them out on Thursday or Friday. That should be the plan. Let's see. Yeah. Maybe Wednesday, but for sure Thursday, Friday. And hopefully those will get to you. The card kit's been going out. I know everybody's been loving that new pink box that Stephanie's been talking about. I hope you like it. I think it's a very beautiful box. kind of like a collector's item, or you can show off, you know, put on your shelves and be reminded that your kit is there and all your fun crafting stuff. Make sure you break out those kits and make cards. You know, that's what you get them for, and you want to put them to use. And maybe some of the dies and stamps we have today, even you can combine with some of the items that you received in your kit. The card kit's nice because everything coordinates all together and works right off the bat. So I'm sure those of you who are Card Kit Club members, you love those kits. And I know a lot of them have been getting out. Hopefully most of you have received them by now. I think we shipped them last Monday on the 15th, so it should be about time. All right, let's see. No hints, Connie. Nope, I'm not allowed to give any hints. I think the video might get posted tonight, late tonight, but for sure in the morning that video will be running. And let's see. Oh, one item that we spoke about on the last episode, kind of went with the, maybe it was a couple episodes ago, but it had to do with the graduation. It's called the I'm So Proud of You, and this is the lanky version. We do have it on our website, and I don't have any cards to show you, but let me see. This is just 2 dies, but with I just thought with graduation season coming up shortly, high schools, colleges, maybe this is one you would like. Let me see if I can switch that over real quick. Yeah, there we go. So you just type in I'm so proud of you, lanky, any of those kind of things, it'll come up. 2 dies. This is from, oh, I did have the date. What did I find that to be? I think this is from, it was further back than I thought, April of 2020. So you might have it, and you might have it in your collection. This is a good time of the year to use it. And then specifically, I saw like this card right there that was making me think of it. Really goes good with graduation. And what other samples do we have? So you get the letters, and then you get the background. That's a fun one too. Looks like with dotted stars just on the front of an A2 card. What else? Yep, we saw all of those. So that was just the one I wanted to mention just because of the time of the year. So we won't play around with that, but just so you know. And let's go back over to me. All right. And we're going to go ahead and move on. Let's get rolling. I had to practice with this die set a little bit because it's a little more intricate. And it is a background die that you would put on the front of an A2 card. This one is called the 5 petal. Let's see if I make sure I get a line. I took it out of the package because I had been working with it a little bit ahead of time, so make sure it looks kind of decent. The 5 petal mini flower A2 background die set. That's a mouthful, but that is it. And I think I have a little slide for that one. Let me grab that and see if I can get that to go on there. Did it pop up? Hey, it worked. Awesome. So last week I lost all my graphics too. It was kind of crazy last week. So there's that one. It's fun. This panel will make the card front, and it is intricate. So you need to have, I recommend using the adhesive sheet with this. It helped me out a lot the time I used the adhesive sheet, and the time I didn't, it was a lot of work. I had to go through it, and a lot of things were sticking, so I had to take the little pokey tool and poke through a lot of those. I tried. I don't have a real roller here. Like, I should have a nice handle on this, but this still works. So I took the roller and I was rolling it, trying to get all those pieces out. It was a lot of work. But when I used the adhesive sheet, it cut down on the time a lot of trying to get all those little chads or little extra pieces out of there that you have to roll out. So let's take a look at that. My question for you, since we're kind of looking at flowers, is have you started a flower garden? Do you have any flowers growing around your house right now? That's my question for you. I know a couple months ago we had a question about, like, what's your favorite flower, but is anybody growing any flowers right now? Do you have a good garden growing? Is it warm enough where you are? We have one flower. It's one of those bulbs that I think it blooms like once a year, and we have it in a windowsill where it's getting a ton of sun and it's growing like crazy. But outside we don't have any. We have like some kind of cactusy, what do you call it, succulents growing at our house, but no flowering items. So do you have any flowers growing around your house right now? It's springtime. Are you having any luck gardening? Are any of you big gardeners? What's your favorite flower? Do you have a flower you like to grow every year? Do you have a flower that's already growing or one you're expecting to bloom pretty soon? That's my question for you now. Let me know how your gardening is going, or if you don't care about it, or you're not a gardener. Like, I'm not really a gardener, but I sure like to see beautiful flowers. We'll take a look at them. I have some trivia things about this. So this is called the 5-petal. I see Luba has double daffodils, and I don't know how to say that other one. Hyacinths. Donna says she has some Christmas amaryllis that just bloomed. Great. Let's see over on, that was on Facebook. How about on YouTube? Carol's got lots of blooming bearded irises and amaryllis. Tulips are coming up for Connie. Sherry says she's grown tomatoes. Great. Rhoda's got a rose bush that's blooming. Yeah. Bright pink. Fun. Let's see. So 5 petals. Let's see who else. Diana, a bleeding heart. I'm not familiar with that. Tulips and daffodils. Elizabeth, forsythia. I just don't know all these rose names, all these flower names. Some of them are so hard to say if you're not used to saying them, right? So it looks like everybody's got something going. Joe's got roses in Las Vegas, sunflowers. Yep. Tulips are coming up. Oh, that was Connie. We said that one. Great. So it sounds like you guys are flower lovers. Let's see. I have some information about these flowers, and they have some pictures because some of the names. Give me 1 second here. Okay, let me find my fun facts, and on this one I'll show you some of the pictures that I have too, because this is the dye is a 5-petal flower, and I was wondering, is that normal to have 5 petals on a flower? So I went ahead and searched it, and it says there are well, it doesn't mean that this is an exhaustive list, but anyway, it came up with 11 plants that produce flowers with 5 petals. So I'm going to pull that up and we'll take a look at these flowers, because I don't even know if I've seen most of these, but some of them are really pretty. Let's switch that over to my computer again. All right. We're looking at these 11 different flowers with 5 petals. First one, I think it's pretty, is the we got some commercials there, commercials there, where we are. All right, periwinkle. I have heard of that one. I'm not sure if I would have recognized it, but that's one of them. This is an interesting one. Princess pine. I've never heard of that one, but look at how intricate that. Those flowers must be really tiny. And then we have, this is not one I've seen or that I recognize, swamp candle. Interesting. Oh, I really like this one. These are pretty. Forget Me Not. I've heard of those. There's some song I remember, an R&B song that keeps that has those wordings, Forget Me Not. And I really always like that song. So I like those flowers. These are pretty. Baby blue eyes. I've never heard of those. Anybody have any of those growing? They are pretty. And those are really nice too. Look at those. Columbine flower. I've not heard of that one either. But wow. God sure gives us a lot of amazing colors, right? This is sandwort. I feel like I've heard of that, but I don't recognize it. And 4 o'clock. No. It reminds me of like a hibiscus, but something different. I've not heard of that. And then there is a hibiscus. We're familiar with those because our tortoise loves hibiscus. Brighter colors, the more that tortoise wants to eat of those. That's number 9. Look at that one. Plumeria. I have heard of that. I think, is that something like, is that the flowers they have in Hawaii? I'm not sure. And then this is a crazy one. Lenten rose. I've never seen that. So those are the 5 petal flowers that they came up with when I did a search. Again, there might be a lot more, but those are the ones they pointed out to me. So anyhow, let's go ahead and move on. I'm going to show you what I did with this. Oh, we better check out this card samples first, and I do have a bunch, so let's do that. Let's get our card samples, and we got to check it out on the website too. All right, so I've got a good stack of these cards for us to look at. So our design team did a lot with this. And when was this from? It is from September of 2021. So you could have it in your stash and you might not have used it for a while, but this is a good time of the year with it being spring and everything, right? Now I'm gonna keep that over there. Now what did I do? Oh, I've got the plate, good. I'm keeping everything nice and organized as best I can. Let's find it also on the website. Okay, there's the 5 flower. If you just type in 5 and petal and flower, this one's going to come up. There might be some other things that come up as well, but you can find all the. This is a two-piece die set. It is the front of an A2 card, so you can see how if you have an A2 card base, that yellow part right there, this is the cutout that the die will create. Let's enlarge that. And you can see a lot of nice combinations. There's the die. This is kind of what I did a little bit. I'll show you how I did my version. And I had to do a lot of this ahead of time because some of it did take quite a bit, a little extra effort. If you just want to do basic and run it through the machine with one color, it's super easy. But if you want to get some of these different colors like this, you have to do some blending. You can make your own backgrounds. It was kind of fun. It's kind of like endless possibilities with this one. You can do so much. And there's kind of like a pool themed and a birdhouse. Maybe many of you have these stamps and dies that you see on these card samples. You could see the combinations that you could use with this die set. There's a version with succulents. And back to our original start. All right. Okay, now we're going to take a peek at the ones I have here with me. Let me switch over to our other camera. I think I have it all lined up all right. Oh, I want to fix something real quick because the background kind of doesn't look too good. Hang on. It is kind of overcast right now, but if the sun starts to break through, that section over there of my little makeshift studio here can get kind of bright, and I don't want to get the bright light coming in here too much. So let's take a look at those. I've got that one lined up. I think it looks pretty good. Let me see if I can fix that just a tad so they look good for you. One second. Things like this, when I'm trying to line up cameras or get things straight, I have some kind of problem like where I wouldn't say I obsess over it, but it really like bothers me if things aren't lined up and straight, or lights aren't right, or you've heard me talk about shadows before, so I don't know if any of you are like that, but I want things to look right the way they're supposed to, and like I start fiddling with it and I just keep going and going, and instead of just being that's good enough, like I try to make it be just perfect, and it's probably not possible to make it perfect, but I don't know, what do they call that? I don't know, compulsive something, but that's my thing. I don't do it too often, but when it comes to video, things like this, our shows, I try to make them be the best they can. All right, let's take a look at that camera 2. All right, and here you'll see some of our fun samples from our design team. Since it's spring, that kind of looks like it has a night. That's probably our garden to stamp dies or pieces from a card kit. And look at this one with some blending there on the front. Very pretty color combination. I think everybody will find something that they like in this group of cards. Here's our little birdhouse on this one. I'm going to check and see if Facebook is still working this time. Looks like it is. Great. Better than last week. And here's a little darker color, but it looks really good. Your panel is black, and then you have a white background behind it. That shows up really nice. Here's some more birdhouse kind of featured on this one. think some of these we did see on when we were looking at the, see now I'm noticing that's a little bit crooked again, so let me see if I can fix that. Okay, that's good enough for me. And here's our succulents. We saw the pool theme. This has these are the stamps and dies from Floaties to Stamp that are featured on that card. Just some basic hello, a little hello card there. And just a note. And then our last one, which was also on the website. I think this looks better even than the picture. And this is thinking of you, thinking of you. All right, so those are our cards. We're going to jump over to the die cutting table, and I'm not going to do every step, but I'm going to show you some of the steps that I took to kind of make the card front that I made. All right. One of the extra items, let's see if I have all that, I'm going to use is, we have these sponges. They come in an 8-pack, and these are great for blending. And these are what I used for my card when I did some blending on them. Again, they come in an 8-pack. Let me see. I didn't grab them. If you search egg carton or sponges on the Stamps of Life website, you're going to get these. They come in a pack of 8. If you want to use one for every single color, you would have to get multiple sets, but they can also be washed out and clean. And I also noticed that they dry up pretty good. And out of the 3 I used yesterday, only one still has ink in it that's wet. So I think if you have a few different shades of pink, you could use the same, like I used this pink with a couple different, maybe with guava and bubblegum. That was fine. And then I was using this darker green. I used it for artichoke, and at first I used it with what was the other one? Mint chip. And again, so you can use these sponges multiple. The trick would be just make sure they're dry before you switch to the other color. At least that's my experience. All right. So I had a good time using those sponges. They're really nice. We also have the brushes. You might have some of those. Those would work for these kind of techniques too. So let's move over to our little workstation and get going on this. And I got to switch that camera, and then it's tricky because I have to also, whoops, hang on, something's making noise here. Sorry. Something's playing. A surprise. Oh, my video is playing, my music video. Okay, I've got that off. I'm going to switch over to that camera, and I'm going to switch my mic and turn off that one. Okay, should be able to hear me all right. Looks like the sound's coming through. I've got the right camera there. All right, this is what we want to do. I need an A2 card base to start off this card. So I'm just going to try to eyeball it about where I'm going to run it through the machine. And then I'm going to take my sponges. And yesterday I kind of did a pink in the middle. Make sure you can see. I took some of the pink color in the middle, and I did green kind of towards the bottom, and I had the blue up here towards the top. Now I didn't really plan it this way, but let me turn that down a little bit. As I made the card, it kind of ended up giving me a look of like I had the sky up here, and the green was the grass down below, and then I just had a pretty pink color in between. So let me show you how I did that yesterday. This would be my first step. I'm going to put some extra cardstock under here because I don't want to make too big of a mess on my die cutting machine. It can get a little bit crazy. So this will be our scratch paper here. If it gets a little ink on it, no problem. I'm just going to, I have a couple little ink pads and a larger one also. And I'm going to just start off with the blue. Now, I notice every time that I go to ink, the very first has a lot of ink on it, and I don't want a big spot on the back of my on this card where it's too dark. It won't look right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to stamp that a little bit off to the side before I start to, you see how it gets a little bit darker there. If you have too much ink on it at the beginning, you're going to get some really dark spots. My dark spots ended up being on the back of my card yesterday, so it wasn't too bad. It kind of gave some color to the back of the card, and it looked all right. I'll show you how it came out. Let's get some more ink on here. I'm just kind of being careful with ink because I don't want it to be too crazy. Get some of that extra off, and then kind of just swirl that around. But you can see how even after I took some of the ink off there, you're just going to have to practice with this if you're trying to blend, to make sure you really get enough ink off at the beginning. And so I kind of got a layer of blue, and we'll cover that one up. Now, if I wanted, I could go all the way to this way, so I have the back of my card totally in line. I'm not doing that this time, but last time when I worked on it yesterday, I did add a little extra color. So when I end up with the A2 card base running through the machine, if I'm going to have some blue on the back, I kind of probably want it to go all the way that distance. But for now, just to speed things up, I'll let that go. All right, then I will get some pink just for fun here in the middle. Again, I'm just trying to replicate what I did yesterday. You can do, fun thing is you could do any colors you want. And you could just practice and play around with the different colors and see what you come up with. So I'll start over there with the darker, and then I'm just going to kind of brush her in the middle. The pink's a lot lighter, so I'm not so concerned about how that's going to blend in there. I can add a little bit more. This is bubblegum. It's not nearly as strong as the blueberry ink was. And I think this ink pad might be a little bit drier. It might need some extra ink. So anyhow, I'm kind of blending and creating a card base that will be my style, what I want it to be, and my preferences. And you could do this too. If you have the sponges and you have the ink pads, you can just blend like this. Blending is also a fun way to, maybe you've cut out something with dye and you want to give it a little shading on the edges. Gives a little more interest to your card. So blending, I do recommend. Again, you're taking a little more time, but it adds a lot to your card. So there's my pink. And then I will get the mint chip for the bottom. We're spending a little more time. Whoops, I got some ink on me. Is this mint chip? I want to double check. It seems so dark. Yeah, it is. It says. So this is the mint chip. And I know this one's going to be really strong, so I'm going to start it off over here at least and see what happens. And you can see how that kind of can blend in there a little bit. So say I really spend a little extra time, got my colors all just right. I would kind of have my 3 layers there. I would take this, run it right through. Again, I can spend a lot more time with this, make this a lot more pretty, a lot more even if I have the time. I'll take it, run it through the machine, and I would get my card base. So for mine, the one I created yesterday, let me see if I can do this again real quick. This was the card base I created yesterday. Now you see how the dark colors came out on the backside. Since it's the back, it turned out okay. I would have preferred not to have such dark spots here on the back, but I was really happy with the front. It kind of came out with these pastels. I ran the petal through there. The card front with this is a blue jay color, and for this part, as far as I got it, I was pretty happy with the results of that one. This is to avoid such big splotches, and again, I was just practicing, so I was fine with it. You would want to go on your scratch paper and maybe dot it a little bit until you get comfortable with how much ink is coming out. But for me, my card front, I thought it came out really nice. I was happy with that. So let me show you how to cut the 5 petal. Actually, I did run it through. So yesterday I took this one, and I had this is the Blue Jay that I used yesterday. You can see that I added an adhesive sheet. So let me make sure I do that again, because having the adhesive sheet really does make a big difference. All right. So you want to make sure that you apply this. You just peel right here. And it's pretty easy for me to line it up because I can see about where I was yesterday. And I'm just going to put that right on there. Put that nice and flat so it's really sticking on there. I have my die. That's going to go face down. And I can see where I'm going. So super easy. I can give it just a little bit of a turn. If I save some of this that has the adhesive on, I might be able to reuse that maybe for something else that I'm going to cut. So if I'm thinking about that, I can get a little extra out of this. Now I'm hoping to avoid a lot of squeaking today. Let's see. We'll start this off. Make sure I'm lined up there really good. I'm getting a little close to the edge, so I want to be careful with that. Okay. And that's going through good. The paper is a little thicker with that adhesive, so it is rolls a little more difficult to roll through there, but no problem with that. I'm gonna peel this off of here. Oh, see, this is what I forgot, and I almost did this yesterday. In order to do this, I have to have the other die around it. I remembered yesterday, but forgot today. So this one has to go in order to cut this out. If we just let me show you. If we only run this plate through, it's pretty much just going to emboss it. We need the outside die to cut it out. Yesterday I remembered, today I forgot. So I'm going to try that again. Hopefully it still lines up right. All right, let's try it again. And I would recommend, see, this is sliding just a little bit. I'm going to do this without, but I would recommend adding washi tape to hold this die in place so it kind of keeps the card front a little more centered. You won't really notice that much, but if you like your card to really look even on all 4 sides, the border, you might want to use the washi tape to hold down those dies and make sure they are lined up correctly. I'll just run that through twice. Whoop. I was hitting speed bumps, which I tried to avoid, but today I've got them. And then we get this cut out. And so it creates just like that. And you can see there are so many pieces here. That is a lot of work if you don't have the adhesive sheet. But let's see. When we take the adhesive sheet, peel that off. Let me see if I can get that. Where I should have my glasses on. Did I bring my glasses? I did. Hang on. Let me put my glasses on. Yesterday, this peeled apart real easy. If I can see it, I think I'll do a little bit better. So if you have it like this, and you're just going to peel real slow, a lot of those pieces are going to come out of there. And this side is sticky. And then you're just going to take your roller and you're going to have to kind of roll these out. Now with the adhesive, they kind of roll out a little bit easier than yesterday. I had one card that I did, and I'll show you what I did. I added a little bit of extra inking to it. And so the card was still just a little bit moist. And after I ran it through the machine, it would not, these little pieces would not come out with the roller. So I had to really go like this and poke all of these pieces out. It took me a lot of time. So that was because the card was still a little bit wet from the ink. At least that's what I figured out, because maybe if I would have let it sit and dry, more of these would have just popped out. See how they can just pop out? But normally, just with the roller, a lot of these are going to come out really quick. So you can see the one in, got a good start on those. And if you have a nice tool, these will start popping out. So let me show you what I created yesterday to give you some ideas. This was the one that I made where I added some extra colors. And this was the one that was, you can still see some of the centers are still there, because it just took me so much time to get all those petals out. And again, it's just because I didn't have the adhesive on the back, and the cardstock was a little bit damp from the ink. Just a little bit of moisture made a big difference. So here's some ideas you could use. Here's another one that I created yesterday. Again, this one has I didn't ink it or anything, and I didn't add adhesive sheet, and it worked pretty good. You can see most everything's out of there. But to give you some ideas for your card front, and again, here, this one, I just added it over the blending that I had done. And that one I was pretty happy with. It came out nice. Nice colors on that one. And then with this plain one, if you just wanted to add it to something like this, a glitter paper, you could do that. This looks really nice with this. This is like a silver. You don't have to do any inking with these. It just kind of decorates itself, right? So those are nice combinations. Also, you could use you could use a foil paper, and that gives you some nice options that you could do with that one too. I don't know if you're really picking up the gloss on that, but it looks really nice. So those are easy ways to, you don't have to do the inking, but it gives you some different ideas of what you could do with these fronts. Let's see how that one looks. So just you can see how it just gives a little bit different interest. If you want to add any of those here, that combination looks really nice, don't you think? So I like that one too. So there you go. That is the 5 petal. You saw all the great card samples we had there. If you have that die set, again, being spring, break it out, start making your own cards. You can crank out a lot of these really quick. And again, my recommendation is using the adhesive sheets as you create with that, because you get all those little tiny pieces, and it is a lot of work without those. All right. Come back over here to my main table. And that one on. All right. So what do you guys think about that one? It is a nice little die set that has been on the website for since 2021, so about 3 years. About 3 years ago that came out. So I bet you have that hanging around there. If you want to see those samples, again, just go on the website. They're there. We had a lot of samples, so it looks like our design team really enjoyed that one, because they did a lot of work with that. All right, we are moving on. Clear all that out of the way. Get ready for our next item. I won't need adhesive sheets. I'm going to move that. Try not to get things too mixed up here. We're going to look at a Slimline die today. Let me pull up the information for that one. There's one card we'll talk about a little bit extra at the end. It has the cupcake on it. And since we did the cupcake delight this week, we'll talk about cupcakes here for a minute, and we'll look a little extra at that card. So we are looking at Slimline dies right now. We haven't done this one. This is the basic Slimline die set that we came out with in, what year did it say? August of 2020. So this one is almost 4 years old. I think this was the first Slimline that we had ever created. And it comes with some nice words. It has happy, and then like in a script, birthday. And let's find it on the website here. I am going to check in again. I see it looks like everything's working good here on YouTube. Let me check over on Facebook, see if you guys are still there. Yeah, it looks like you're there. Jeff's still there. Deborah. Some of the time the comments on YouTube get unhid or get hidden, so I have to unhide you guys. I don't know why. Nobody's saying any bad words or anything crazy, so I'm unhiding some of you. Hi, Deborah. I think that's Geralda. Hi, welcome. And Gail. Hi, Gail. We missed you yesterday. Oh, we did have a store day yesterday. Sadly, guys, the store day was super, super slow. Apparently, everybody had to work yesterday. Nobody could get out of work. So I still had plenty to do. I didn't just sit by myself and go, where is everybody? But it was super slow. But I tried, and I was able to work on my cards while a few people were in and out. But yeah, it was just kind of a sad, quiet day. I was thinking maybe because everybody had to pay taxes the week before. That's all I could think of, because it was a quiet day. I think that's the slowest store day I've had. So we'll try again in probably the middle of May or something, but it was a slow day. Let's find this one. So this is our basic Slimline, and I think I can enlarge that a little bit. There we go. And switch over. Maybe. There we go. Okay. This comes with 11 dies in this set. It is a fun one. Slimlines are super popular. They make an 8.5 inch by a 3.5 inch card, and they will fit in a business envelope. So if you have those long envelopes, this type of card will fit in there. We have a big selection of Slimline dies, and most of them work together, but the key is you have to have this base, this basic outline. This is the base of the card, kind of like how we have the standard A2 card base. This is kind of like a standard Slimline base. You could have some with rounded corners. I think there's a decal edge version. There's different like that. But you really need to have the outside base in order to use all the extra panels. So let's look at these samples here. And again, Slimline are super popular. We have a little extra space to work with. And let me see if I can get these to open. There we go. There's the happy birthday from the front of the set. There's one with cookie and a little cookie there. And a thanks. That's a nice one. Just different look. Something from Easter. And a pray. Look, they've done some blending on that one like we had just kind of done. Maybe they made their own pattern there, or maybe a stencil was used to create that background. And there's a video. Let's switch off that. Then, besides this one, I also have an add-on one that we're kind of mixing and matching together. So let me also show you this one. This was originally, and I can find the information for it. Hang on. This one originally was a release on HSN. So it just has some extra panels, some extra designs that you can work with. Besides the basic ones. No words on this one, but it does have these nice backgrounds. I will run that lattice one through today. I'll show you how that works. And let's see if there's some samples with it. This is the lattice and circle dot Slimline panel from, it's HSN Slimline, or it's also called lattice and circle. I see my little corner identification. Oh, and I misspelled December. Sorry about that, guys. Calls it HSN Slimline. That's what the little sticker on the package says, HSN Slimline. But we added it to the Stamps of Life website in December of 2020. It has, I think it just has 4 dies. Yeah, 4 dies in this one. And you could not use this by itself. You have to have the base, the wider die that I was talking about from that last one. So it would work with a lot of different versions we have, but you have to have that one base in order for this to work at all. So let's see, here we go. So that's mixed in with our sunglasses collection. And there's the lattice, we'll do that one. We won't do any blending for that. And there you can see the, I call that starburst, but I think it's called circle dot background. The lattice, a lot of nice cards there. Easy to make these. You can mix and match and kind of create your own backgrounds. That's the one we'll look at, the happy birthday one I have there. Whoops, I see we're really running late here. Let me stop that. Okay, and back to me. So we have these Slimline dies. Let's see, I had a question about this. Let me find my question section. Oh, if you were to, let me see, we better switch back over to me. It's cupcake season with Stamps of Life cupcake release. This is our card that has a cupcake on it. My question for you is, if you could pick out a cupcake for yourself right now, what would be your cupcake combination? What would be your go-to cupcake? I like chocolate cake with white icing. That would be my preferred cupcake choice if I could have a cupcake right now. What kind of cupcake would you pick? It could be any flavor for the cupcake and any flavor icing, or you could have it with no icing. Or do you like sprinkles or no sprinkles? I would say no sprinkles. I don't like my cake or my icing to be crunchy, but maybe you do. So sprinkles make it certainly more exciting. So when I saw this card, I thought, I better find out some information about cupcakes. So I did. You tell me, what kind of cupcake would you like? I also kind of like a yellow cake cupcake with chocolate icing. That would be okay, but my preference would be a chocolate cupcake with white icing. And what's even better, I don't know if you guys care about it, but like, I like cake to be cold with icing to be cold. So a cold cupcake, that would be the best. But maybe you just like them fresh and warm and room temperature. That's fine too. But I like cold icing and cold cake. Maybe I'm weird, but let me hear what you think. What kind of cupcake would you like? You like room temperature, cold, sprinkles, no sprinkle? Tell me what you think. I see red velvet. Oh, the red velvet would get German chocolate. Yeah, I think either my dad or my grandma always was ordering German chocolate. Yeah. Sprinkles, yeah, we got some sprinkles. Frank and Sharon say sprinkles. Yeah, butter, yellow cake, yum. I know Katie's been baking a lot, so maybe she'll bake us some cupcakes, right? I've seen some nice cakes from her and cookies. I can't recall if she's made any cupcakes. I know for the boy's birthday she made little cakes, so that was fun. How about on Facebook? Do we have any? Let's see. Ooh, Deborah says chocolate with peanut butter icing. Wow, that's a combo. Pat says chocolate cake with sour cream. Yum. And there's somebody getting unhit. Deborah loves cold cake too. See, I'm not the only one. I thought maybe I was weird, but at least there's two of us, right? Okay. So let's see my information I found out about cupcakes. I found this website that has 14 fun things about cupcake. I'll even let you see the list. Let me switch over there. They might pop in some commercials or something, guys, but hopefully not. So let's switch that over. So I found this website. It has some fun facts about cupcakes. Cupcakes were once baked in teacups. Let me see where I am. Teacups or I don't know, ramekins. What are those? I could understand a teacup before the invention of the multi-cup pans we use today. Fact number 2, in the 1700s, cupcakes were originally referred to as number cakes, or 1, 2, 3, 4 cakes. Listen to this: 1 cup of butter, 2 cups of sugar, 3 cups of flour, and 4 eggs. Huh. And if you live in Britain, England, UK, cupcakes could be called fairy cakes. That's cool. And in Australia, they're called patty cakes. Huh, never heard of that. I've heard of the patty cake song, but I didn't know it had to do with cupcakes. And then let's see, must be like a world's largest cupcake ever, 1,224 pounds. Wow. You'd have to have a truck, I think, to carry that cupcake around. 4 feet tall by 10 feet wide. Wow. And guess how many calories? Just 2 million. 2 million calories. Wow. The world's smallest cupcake, that's kind of microscopic, 1.5 by 3 centimeters. I don't want tiny cupcakes like that. Maybe a bite-sized one, but that's not even a bite. Oh, this is a weird one. The first cupcakes did not have frosting as we know it, but instead, this sounds not good, were gilded with lard, yuck, as a kind of cake moistening gravy. I don't know. I don't want lard. Like if I had one of those sound effects right now, it'd be like a bump, bump, bum. I don't want lard or gravy on my cupcake. I don't know what you guys think. It said I don't know. This one I don't believe. Winston Churchill was the first person to suggest putting a frosting on top of a cupcake. Okay, but... And this one's funny. On average, U.S. adults eat 1 cupcake per day. Wow. I'm thinking it's more like 1 kit. For me, it's like maybe 1 cupcake a month. So some people are eating a lot of cupcakes to balance me out, to keep up with my pace. If the average for an American is 1 per day, wow. Let's see. Ooh, this one's funny. Cupcakes are banned at schools in New York, I guess to help with keeping the kids healthy. It says to decrease obesity rates. Oh, somebody's calling me. Hang on. Let me see if I can fix this. This is not good. Hold on. Doesn't everybody know not to call me during these shows? Hopefully I'll come back. Anyhow, you can hear me still, I hope. And the Food Network has a show called Cupcake Wars. And Sprinkles. Oh, there I'm back. I put my phone on airplane mode, but it's somehow it still rings through. So it froze me there for a second, but I'm back, thankfully. And Sprinkles Cupcakes opened the world's first cupcake-only bakery in 2005. I don't believe that one either. The world's first cupcake-only. There must have been somebody else who did it, because I think Sprinkles is a big chain, right? All right, well, that's it with our cupcake trivia. Maybe you got to get out and make a cupcake today, now that we've talked about it, right? But don't put lard on it. Don't put gravy on it. That's weird. I wouldn't go for that. All right. Okay, let's take a look at our samples. We did take a peek at this one. I'll put it over here on the stand. And then I'll show you how easy it is to do the slimlines real quick. I'm not sure if that's going to show up very good. So, a bit different angle here. And these cards are a little bit lower, so I got to adjust that. Okay, let's check that out. All right, that was our cupcake card, and this is just using our basic set along with the lattice dies that we have from the HSN set. We have a lot of lattice ones. Coffee on that one. That's our, I think our coffee to stamp. That's a stamp and die set. That would be the main die from that. And this one says pray. And here we have a different variety. Let me see. I have one that is going, yeah, these ones are all okay. This has, somebody's made their own background on the front of this one. And we have a bunch of different styles here. This is the rounded corner. This is not included in this set, but it is an option. And it won't be too long, but thinking ahead, maybe Thanksgiving, a Thanksgiving idea. And this is a fun one. It's got the little panda, and that's got a dotted background. That's another one of our slimlines. And then this one, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I can't fit it. I'll have to scoot it back. There we go. So here, rather than going the horizontal way, this is an option too. You can have your slimlines go vertical, so like a tall card. Instead of going that direction, you have the option with any of the slimlines to create it. You have a lot of space. And on the inside, there's a lot of space as well. So slimlines are lots of fun. Let me show you how easy it is to do. Switch over there. Whoop, sorry. There I am. Okay. And I also want to, again, we are looking at, so the HSN Slimline die, that is the kind of the add-on set. I want to make sure you know we're looking at this regular Slimline here today, and that is from August of 2020. We're going to take the big die from this set. We need this big one here, and then we're going to mix it with, we're going to choose this option. I'm going to pick the lattice die, and remember how the last time we had to have the outer die in order to cut it out. Otherwise, we're just going to get kind of like an impress, embossed look. But we need this outer die, this one here, to actually cut it out. So let's move over there to our table, and I'll switch mics and all that stuff. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna switch that. Okay, I've got my camera. That's good. I always double check this because remember, guys, there was that one time when I switched and I went to the table and I didn't switch the cameras and I was just over there making cards all by myself and nobody else got to see me the whole time. So that was kind of weird. So I'm making sure I don't do that. Okay, now I got to switch the mic. All right, should be good there. Great. So we'll move over to our work table here. We've got the large die. I'm going to see if I can kind of recreate what I had made yesterday. Hang on 1 second. Let me show you what I made. So basically, just with 3 dies, I was able to get a card front like this. Of course, there's not much there, but you can see the basis of the card. It's all ready to go. You could decorate it. You could use pattern paper if you have. I do have one paper pad. I'm not going to use it. But if you have a larger paper pad, this is a 6x9. You could use the pattern paper for a slimline. So if you have 6x9 pattern paper pad, this one does. This one is. It would work with this. This will not work with the 6x6 paper pads. You have to have the larger paper pads in order to use them with slimlines. But this is an example. You could use this for a background layer on here. Kind of save you 1 step. But I'm going to use 3 dies. And I'm going to get to this really quick. So let me show you what I did. Got that. This is a, you're using kind of a cranberry type cardstock here. Still getting some bowing on my plate, so I'm going to have to work on making sure I'm flip-flopping those the right way. And I'm trying to get away from those speed bumps, so let me give that just a slight turn. Sure, I'm not going to get a bunch of squeaking or crazy noise here. My handle, there we go. All good once we got it kind of started there. Some crunching, that's going to be normal. Hoping I stayed on the platform the whole time, and I think I did. All right, there's my base for my card. It's cut the slimline, and it has also scored it. So you can see my score line right there. And just fold it over. Make sure I'm kind of lined up. If I have one of the ways I cheat, I use my blocks some of the time to score the cards. And you're set. There's your base right there, right off the bat. 1 die. Let's get all this together again. Got our platform, our plate. So if you are new to creating cards, kind of like I am, this is a really easy die set to use. Okay. And I'm going to, let's see, I'll have some different colors on this one, but it should still come out fun. I've got kind of like a bubble gum, and maybe this is sky or ocean. I think it's, or maybe ocean or sea glass on that one. Let's see, we'll use the bubble gum for kind of the background. We'll see how that looks. I'm not sure. This will be a little bit of surprise to see what we get. And I've got my die facing down. Run that through. Real easy so far, right? I've got that. So I'm building my card here. I've got my card base. And this is just a layer. Do you have to do this? No. But if you want to add some extra interest to your card, the more layers you create, the more interest you're going to also create with your card. Okay, we're going to go one more time. And this time we're going to use the lattice die. But in order to get this to cut out, I've got to have the outside die on it too, all right? And we have our, again, I think that's ocean. And I'm just trying to save time. Otherwise, I would recommend washi tape here to hold this down and hold it in place and make sure everything stays nice and even and lined up. But we're just trying to crank this one through. You could possibly you'd use adhesive sheets on this, but the card I made yesterday, I didn't, because I was gonna have to use more than one adhesive sheet and I'm kind of cheap. So I said, no, I'll figure out a way to get this to adhere without adhesive sheet, and it worked out fine. So I'll show you how easy it is. But I've got to make sure this is lined up correctly, or I'm just going to be wasting my time. So that looks good. Looks kind of centered. I think that's going to go over there. So it's going to be just slightly off, but we don't want to be here forever. So let's crank that through and see what happens. So with washi tape, it would have came out a little more even, but it should be fine. You might notice that one of the borders is a little bit wider than the other, but no big deal. So this one, all these little pieces flick out real quick. Easy, easy, easy. Not so intricate as the petal. Look at that. I've got my card front. I've got some interest there behind my base, and we're ready to go. Let's adhere this real quick. Over there. Oops, I'm doing this the right way. I think I am. There we go. And you could put a lot more adhesive on it to make sure it's really going to stay really well, but we are just moving along here. I'm going to add that, my first layer. Here's one of those times where I'm worried about my lines, but not so much because I don't want to be here forever. I know you guys have other things to do today. And we've got to add this. And I've got that little extra piece there, but that will get covered up. I need some scratch paper. Otherwise, this is going to get all over my table. And you can see some of the borders on this are not as even. You see, since I didn't use the washi tape, see how this border is a little bit thicker than this one? So if I would have used washi tape, that problem would not have occurred. You can see this side's a little bit thinner than this side. No big deal. But if you really want your card to come out nice, you would want to spend the time to add that washi tape. Okay. And then I'm just going to add this to the front. And that should fit right over there. Move that. There you have it. Of course, the more adhesive you add, the better it's going to stick. You could fix those borders by using the washi tape, but otherwise you're good to go. That easy to create a card. This one I did yesterday. I think I had my sides were a little more even. I spent a little more time. I used the washi tape on that, but a couple different options, things you can do. Those are the Stamps of Life Slimline dies. Super easy, super fun. If you have those, and I think a lot of you probably do, you will want to get those out and use them. Slimline dies are a lot of fun and super easy. So check those out, okay? Those were way back in August and December of 2020. So I don't know how you store all of your stamps and dies, but these might have got to the bottom of your pile. Break them out, use them, and you saw all the samples that I showed you. These can be used any season of the year. So much fun. I like the Slimline dies because I really like the extra space. You have a lot of extra space to work with. Yeah, so that's that. I hope you like those. Again, if you are new to the Stamps of Life, you can find all of those items on our website. They all are in stock. The sponges we use for the blending brushes, they're the egg carton sponges. We did the 5-petal background die. And I think that is it. Let's get ready for our good news time. If you have a Bible, you want to go to Mark, let me switch that. I can bring up I think I have that. This is one of my favorite parts because when I think about these devotionals, it causes me to spend a little more time thinking over verses and spending a little extra time that I don't always do when I just read on my own. I should be. God's word says we should read it and meditate on it and think it over. And then the best thing about like Bible stuff like this is the Bible is alive, and we need to find ways that we can actually, I think that will fit, actually put the Bible into practice and make it be a part of our life. So this would be the main verse that we're going to look at. I'll read the full passage. Let me switch back over to me here. But this will be the main verse we want to look at. Let's see, still ought to, nope. Hang on one second, sorry. Things have been going pretty good, but I goofed up something. Okay, I can only turn that one off there. All right, so I am reading from Mark chapter 10. And this is when the little kids wanted to come to Jesus, and his disciples kind of were like, oh, nah, we got to keep these kids away from us. So if you have your Bible, we're in Mark chapter 10. This will be short. It says, then they brought the little children to him. Mark chapter 10, verse 13, and that he might touch them. But the disciples rebuked those who brought them. But when Jesus saw it, he was greatly displeased, and said to them, let the little children come to me, and do not forbid them, for of such is the kingdom of God. Assuredly I say to you, whoever does not receive the kingdom of God as a little child will by no means enter it. And he took them up in his arms, he laid his hands on them, and he blessed them. Great. So I'm going to switch over to that verse we're looking at specifically. And today we're just talking about the importance of us kind of being more childlike. We always have this, I think most of us are told in life, hey, you got to grow up. You have to mature and everything. But here, and a lot of things in God's kingdom works opposite of the way we think. God says that we should be more childlike. And what does that kind of mean for us to be more childlike? What do you think about when you were a child? What was your life like? I think of life being a kid as being much more simpler. Like we didn't have as many things to worry about, right? We didn't have as many problems. Again, life just was much more simpler when you were kind of a child. And we had to trust other people to take care of us and provide for us. And I think Jesus is kind of bringing all those things together, that we need to have that faith that is kind of like childlike. Like one thing I know that when I talk to kids, like younger kids, our grandsons, or a long time ago we used to do some smaller kids church classes at school. Like the kids were just totally open to talk about Jesus, to talk about God. And they would have questions, which of course is awesome. God is fine with us having questions. We don't understand everything about God, right? Like one of our high school kids in our group the other day was asking, hey, can you explain the Trinity to me? And that's the Father being God and Jesus being God and the Holy Spirit all being God. And there was really no good way to explain it. It's just something we have to accept by faith, that because the Bible says each of them are God, but the Bible also teaches that there's only one God. So how can there be three different people or persons claiming to be God, the Father, Son, and the Spirit, and yet there only being one God? So it was something I couldn't explain. And that's what's awesome about God. A lot of things are unexplainable and are beyond our way of understanding. So we have to take a lot of things by faith, right? If Jesus said it, I can believe it. If it's in God's word, I might not totally understand it or grasp it, but we can receive it as truth. And so I think that's simple part of being childlike, is having a faith where we just accept and believe. We have questions and we can desire to learn more. And some of our our questions might get answered, but some of them might not ever. And we want to follow a God that's really, really big, right? That's great. And if my little brain could understand everything about God, that's kind of squeezing him down and making him really, really small, right? And he wouldn't be much of a God if he was like that. So we want to see the wonder, like the things we were looking at, all the flowers earlier today and all the amazing colors. God imagined all those colors and he made them and created it for them, for us to enjoy. And so that's just one simple thing of how great God is. But his creation, his vastness, how can God, like another question is, well, when did God begin, or how do you start? It's beyond my brain, because everything seems to have a starting point, right? But God's been around forever, and he will continue on forever. And so that's something my mind, again, can't understand. But if you share these things with a child, most of the time they're really receptive to them and open to them, and they just believe. They have the faith to believe these things. And for us, as we mature, we start to get these things where we start to second guess, or we let things that are uncertain to us bother us, or create doubts or fears or worries, like we were talking about. As we get older, we start having these things. We start losing our joy and our peace because there are a lot of things we don't understand. But here Jesus is saying, if you want to enter into the kingdom of God, you need to be more like a child, more like a kid. So I don't know what that looks like to you, but for me, I think it's just, we had talked earlier a couple months ago about, having that thankfulness. So if I can have that kind of attitude, being thankful, if I can be joyful, if I can just make the most out of life and enjoy the life I have, that for me becomes part of being more like childlike. The adult things, they're there, we have to deal with them, but let's not let these things like take control of our lives and lose our faith, lose our love for God, create doubts and fears. We don't want to have those things. So however you can come back to that point and be more like childlike, work on that. And ask God how you can do that. Because Jesus says if you want to be a part of his kingdom, you need to be more like a child. So we probably wouldn't want to do foolish, too goofy of silly things, but some of the time just going down and playing with the kid, playing a kid's game, like we were trying to play Candyland the other day, and Liam wouldn't play, but I tried. I used to play Candyland when I was a kid with my grandma, and so it kind of brings back fun memories. A super simple, fun game. Do things that just cause you to enjoy life and to enjoy beauty and the blessings, the good things that are going on in life, right? And Jesus said we want to do that if we want to be a part of his kingdom. So think about that. All right, that is it. I am going to wrap it up. I hope all of you had a great day, or are having a great day. Thank you for joining me. Maybe you want to think over the verses that we read today. Maybe you have some ways you can apply it to your life. Maybe you want to go and do some gardening today. Maybe you want to, let's see, what else? Maybe you want to make some cupcakes, or maybe you've got to, or maybe you just want to go down to the grocery store and buy your favorite cupcakes and munch on those for a while. Whatever you want to do, you've got the rest of the day to go out and have some fun and enjoy life, right? That is what God wants us to do. So it's great talking with all of you. Things went pretty good today. No crashes. All the technology stuff was good. So that is good, getting better with this with practice. I got to go back to my other computer, do some work around here, ship some stuff. And yeah, that will be it. Thanks again. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a wonderful Tuesday. I will see you on Thursday along with Stephanie, if everything goes as planned. And we'll have a fun crafting corner. I want to say God's blessings to each one of you. And I want you to know that Jesus loves you. And have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me. We'll be back next week with another Take Two Tuesday. I will see you soon. Let me get my slide here. I'm not quite ready to sign off. This is what always happens when I'm with Stephanie too. I'm paying attention to the chat, or I'm doing something else and I forget to get ready to sign out. Let's see. There's my Take Two Tuesday. All right, I've got it. Have a great day, and I will see you soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.